I've been working at this institution for 5 years now. I'm a simple person. I'm not educated, and I feel embarrassed about writing to you. I always try to look on the bright side, but sometimes we are called upon to do difficult things. That's our duty, and I well understand and accept it. There's no alternative. However, I have decided to write to you because something is happening which is simply unacceptable. I am well aware that there is someone among us who devotes too much attention to the younger female patients who are confused. The serious nature of this fact has compelled me to write to you. I am certain of your indignation and of the measures you will adopt to solve the problem. Please accept my warmest regards and respect. Those Remain also look pretty interesting and isn't close to the sun of sci-fi horror. Heard good things about that too. Yeah, Those Who Remain, I've been, interested in playing for a while. Close to the Sun, yeah, it looks like it's a kind of like a sci-fi horror type thing. I mean, I play a lot of games blind, so I've looked up very little. But I'm excited. And then Layers of Fear 2 was free on Epic, so we'll probably play that for Halloween. And then we've got Phasmophobia still, which we'll probably do some of. Yeah, Layers of Fear 2 was free on Epic. So I've grabbed that. I'm sure I've got more horror games too. I don't know how many we'll actually finish. But we've got a bunch to try. Blair Witch is free next week too. This is the one. Yeah, this is the one I found. I found already. I think that's ours.
She stayed with Renee during those terrible medical examinations, and that gave her the strength to survive.
I don't know why I'm opening all the windows. I just am. These are all the ones we can get to. No, I feel like this place needs some fresh air. Calm women. Do I have to go see the doll again? about visiting. Ugh. Admissions. Somebody's administrative file. Okay, do I go back up then to where we left Charlotte?
They went.
Okay, gynecology. Yeah. The dude knocked her up, I think. That not cool. So I can't get over to the paperwork.
August 21st, 1938. Confidential. Dear A, I know what you think about these things, so I'm referring a patient to you, Renee T. This wretched girl got out of control and caused trouble in the grounds. She's almost 3 months pregnant. The nurses should be more alert. I'm examining the girl on the 28th. I'll handle things very carefully, don't worry. We don't want to make matters worse. Then they said that Renee was crazy, and that the illness was all in her head. Careful, little girl, careful. I was scared, and I didn't talk to anyone about the illness. Only her. Not even the other doctor. He never touched Renee. He just wrote things down. You can tell me everything. Don't be afraid, he said. Everything's going to be fine. Do you want to know what I am writing? I note down what I observe in you, everything I see. He didn't hate Renee. He tried to help her, but he rarely examined her in those small surgeries.
Damn. Oops.
The doctor who wrote things down was in Surgery C.
Oh, more journals.
My name is Renee. They told me that I have to write this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl, and I just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No. I did things that, when I think about them now, eventually brought me here.
Whoa.
Everything started with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was still a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school when suddenly the noise started to melt into an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything lost its meaning. I could no longer recognize anything. Objects,
Oh, I wonder
people,
if she was having
words,
seizures.
not even myself.
And it actually caused, like, some sort of brain damage. And they just thought she was crazy.
I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. After God knows how long, everything went back to normal, but a new fear replaced the old one. Different but terrible, of the light coming back. And it did come back.
I did that one already. Damiani Saverio, Father Gino, Mother Contessini Maria, married. Number of children, 5. That's a lot of kids. Kindly request your illustrious excellency to kindly convey to this address any information regarding the insane Damiani Saverio, son of the deceased Sirio and Contessini Maria, born in Montion and residing there, age 53, admitted in this institution on 19/6/36.
June 1935. After much theorizing and practice in clinics for the privileged, the moment for action has finally arrived. Volterra is the right place. It's an avant-garde hospital, the perfect place for a doctor who really wants to make a difference. November 20th. Crossing the threshold of the asylum was similar to entering another dimension. A world of smells, noises, and images which it is almost impossible to imagine, describe, or explain. August 1936. The situation is similar to that in many other institutions. The department is overcrowded. Hundreds of patients are supervised by a handful of nurses who are forced to tie the more distressed ones to their beds or to radiators. They do 24-hour shifts. It's impossible to work like this. We doctors rarely see the female patients, and it's the nurses who tell us what's happening to the women. The overpowering stench in the wards, the constant din of shouts and voices that are barely recognizable as human, dirty, naked bodies devoid of any dignity. The lunatic asylum gets under your skin and wears you down. I often consider resigning. I feel useless, impotent, a sort of merciful jailer, a mercy that helps no one and only helps to ease my conscience. March 15th, 1938.
I mean, it's pretty
Dramas
sad that
are
this is
played
how
out
things
before
actually
my
used
eyes
to
every
be.
single day, and I try to distance myself from them and just do the best I can. But a girl arrived some days ago. I couldn't avoid her gaze. All she asked in her dignified silence was not to be ripped away from her world. And me. I'm old enough to be her father, the father she never had, who didn't want her, who rejected her without even knowing her. I, too, refused what she asked me. I couldn't do anything but add my signature and consign her to hell. A danger to herself and to others, and a cause of public scandal. This was what was written on the accompanying note from the police headquarters.
So this is about Renee.
It was
the
difficult
character
not
that
to
we are.
agree with it. How much more violence must this poor girl be subjected to? Her gaze is so intense, so far removed from the carefree nature which should be the joyous hallmark of her age. I cried myself to sleep in my solitude. I kept thinking about those sad and frightened eyes staring at me.
Okay, next room. Don't even know what that says. Needles. Knee thingy. This looks like journal pages.
March 12th, 1938. Renee T., 16 years old. Menstruation at age 12. Housewife. Father unknown. Mother a seamstress. Admitted in observation yesterday morning from Pontedera, accompanied by a police officer authorized by the examining magistrate of the Court of Pisa to be admitted for a psychiatric evaluation, which I have carried out. Medical certificate. Mental illness preceded by warning signs. Has suffered from depression for a year, believing she had tuberculosis. Food deprivation. We can't read this document. It is forbidden. We mustn't. If they find out, there will be trouble.
Don't be scared. Nothing will happen to you.
We have to look for Amara. We must hurry. We have to follow the memories and make sure they don't fade.
Go on.
She is frightened, hears noises and ghosts, presents serious signs of anxiety psychosis, suffers from hallucinations. She is anxious, confused, her expression is distressed, a questioning look as if terrified, disoriented. She feels confused, hears voices shouting in her head. She doesn't understand things properly. She has been feeling unwell for 2 or 3 months. When questioned, she replies, "My mother wants to hurt me. I am always scared of her. She chases me." "Why are you here?" "I argued with my mother and was so upset that I felt like my head was spinning. There was a woman there who wanted to force me into a life of prostitution. They wanted to condemn me to be burned at the stake. Children whispered, called my name." March 16th. She couldn't sleep last night. They wanted to condemn her to be burned at the stake. April 4th. Transferred to the calm ward, still under my supervision. Yes, that's true. The ward where Amara was. Yes, the stake. The children wanted to burn Renee. She had to pay for what she'd done, like witches at the stake.
This is what frightened you. What had you done to deserve to be punished?
April 21st. She's more awake this morning and is responding to questions, complains of headaches. She became agitated when she found out her mother was there. She says that one day, many years earlier, she was with a friend of hers and met a man who made her get into a car and took her for a ride. He made her smoke cigarettes and drink liquor, and the man showed her certain things. He tried to hurt her and made her go crazy. She says he promised to marry her and made her swear to keep what had happened a secret. These facts were essentially confirmed by her mother. After that, she became arrogant, impatient, and hostile towards her family, especially her mother. She started taking off her clothes in public. Her moods would swing from laughter to tears.
Essentially like
She rants. She pleasures
PTSD.
herself. I can't remember these things, only the guilt, the stake. I know I deserved to pay for that guilt. I knew it even then.
How's this game so far, Mux? We're just getting to the frickin' deep part. Let's look for the rest of the clinical diary to understand. Everything will become clear. You deserved it because you tried to hide it from yourself. Let's look for the rest of the clinical diary to understand.
She was uncooperative during the examination. She didn't want to be stripped, and her body remained rigid. Voluntary attention almost totally absent. Probable hallucinations. April 25th. Confused ideas, unable to maintain a spontaneous conversation. Reflexes all normal. Reactive pupils. Let's find Amara, and we'll find the full medical records.
Like, there's definitely some, like, disturbing themes in this. Like, I don't know how much of that you saw, but that was pretty dark. And we've had parts that show, like, she was, like, abused by, like, some of the staff and stuff. And then she ended up pregnant. Yeah. Can I see this? No? Okay.
The grounds at the back of the hospital, and then down to the kitchens.
But it's definitely interesting. I'll give it that. Okay, crabs at the back. There's, how do we get back there again? Boom. Over here? Haha.
This is the road we used to take. If it weren't for her, in the grounds on that bench in spring, so many days. It was an escape, watching nature around us as she talked and smiled. And then there were the kitchens. Sometimes we stole food and ran back to the bench to eat it in secret, and we laughed. She did things to me. Sometimes she touched me. In the shower, I felt her body against mine for the first time. It was a shiver that warmed my soul. Eyes closed, the light slipped away.
Oops, wrong button. Okay, So we're probably like close to ish to halfway through already.
She wasn't in the system. He wouldn't let her in. That's it. She must be the key to my memories, to the reasons why.
Pickles is like snoring right behind me. I can hear him. Nothing in there. Okay. Like, it's definitely more of like just like almost like a visual novel type thing.
Nature helped me to forget, to escape from the system.
Pickles, are you snoring? Here. I like hear him snoring even through my headset. It is so weird. He's very loud. And then comments over on the couch. This wasn't our bench. The minute I see it, I will recognize it, that's for sure. Keep looking, we've got to find the right bench. That was it up here. Is there more down here? Oops.
The scent of spring. The land of light was far away, and we spent the days chatting on the stone benches.
Am I supposed to be up here? Oh, well, I am. Can I die? This game doesn't have like scary things, but can I die if I like jump off of here? I got an achievement. I just went in a circle. Back where we started. Okay. I'm gonna guess that's your bench. Charlotte one already. I think it's this one.
He told me about Bruna's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing made me suffer even more. It was my world, and it was crumbling. When I spoke to Bruna about it, she turned her head away and was silent for a long time. Prince Charming doesn't exist, Renee. At least not for us. I was 14 years old. I didn't think it was possible for a boy to look at me and desire me. When he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, I didn't say anything. I didn't even have the courage to look at him. Things improved for a number of years, then suddenly everything came crashing down. One evening I came home drunk, and the following morning a terrible crisis overcame me all of a sudden. What had I done? I was terrified. I thought I'd lost my sight. The light burned my eyes from inside. The memories of the previous day emerged in bursts, images, flashes, which unleashed something monstrous inside me. Repetition of words was no longer sufficient. Now there was a voice in my head which repeated them louder than I did, and they were words of accusation and blame. So I covered my ears and shouted and hit my head against the wall and threw up. I remember the doctor, the wall filthy with blood and vomit. My mother wasn't looking at me. Bruna was crying but trying to hide it. Charlotte was beside me. I never told anyone what had happened. He came to visit me, but I refused to see him. I became agitated. I think he liked me, even though things turned out badly. In that period, I began to suffer from memory loss. The few things I learned didn't please me at all. He told me that I was looking for him. It was all my fault. Bruna told me that sometimes I got drunk. People in the village gossiped about me. Sometimes I was covered in black and blue marks. I didn't realize what was happening to me, what I was doing. I was no longer in control of my life. From my little corner.
And then we saw that one. Wow.
This was our bench. We often went to the kitchens. She sometimes went on her own when things were going well.
Can I get into the kitchens? No? Maybe that's not the kitchens. Keep going this way, I guess? Whoa. Achievement unlocked. The greenhouse. I think there's a cinder block there that keeps disappearing. Okay, so I can go that way. Is there anything else this way? Nope. Dead end. Okay, so these are the kitchens.
Come on. Come on, let's look everywhere. She must be here, I'm certain.
People? Nope.
Keep looking. We mustn't give up. Let's look for Amara in the kitchens, in the basement of the building, behind the greenhouse.
She inside the giant pressure cooker? I don't think it's that kind of game.
Where could she be? We've got to talk to her. Everything will be all right. But being here now, I don't like it. Come on, let's look for her, quickly.
Lots of clay pots to shatter, I know. Imagine all the scrap we could get from all
Can't
these
stay in
pallets.
here too long. They'll find us. When they found us... Come on, hurry. We've got to find her quickly. We've got to get out of here. They'll find us. But not now. Not yet. Amara's not here. Maybe she's in the showers. We can find her there. The water was often cold. When it was cold, we ran away. But when it was hot, then she came to Renee under that cruel white light. I can still feel the shivers her body gave me. Everything must return to how it was. If we recreate that magic, she'll come to us.
Yeah, this is pretty dark. If you think about it. Oh.
I no longer considered my body as something disgusting and ill. Far from it. I began to look at myself, to caress myself, and smell my own skin. I began to explore and experiment, finding physical pleasure. My ideas were not very clear, and I never spoke to anyone about these things. Bruna, however, spoke about them. She boasted about her love stories and her young men. To my eyes, she was very lucky, always being wooed. By marvelous, generous, and kind boys. Thus, I fantasized about her adventures, pretending that I was the main protagonist. But how could I ever be like her? Occasionally I recall that she had black and blue marks on her body, but I was so naive that I did not understand. I did not put two and two together. It was Don Gino who explained things to me a few years later.
Okay, so
He
her
told me
father
about
and brother
Bruna's
were
father
hitting
and
her.
brother, but I was already... We have to turn the water on in the showers and switch the boiler on. All the plumbing systems were in the kitchen area. Now we have water. We must switch the boiler on.
Okay. Push the green button. No? Now do I push the button? Now I push the button!
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
Okay. There was like stuff in the way before.
Now everything is ready. We can go to the bathrooms. We can go along that narrow corridor in the kitchens. We'll meet her in the showers, yes.
That was, I think, over here.
Not in this ward. Not in observation, remember? Let's go to the calm ward.
Okay. This way then. It's probably like back there. Mm. I've seen that book already. Why can't I should take the keys? That was a creepy ass noise. I'm just gonna say that. Oh, I thought that was a hat. That there looks like showers, but we're gonna finish this form. Another journal page? Yep.
I didn't tell anyone about the light. I knew that something terrible was happening to me. I thought that I would die, and the shame I felt was so deep that an uncontrollable restlessness took over me. I was afraid when other people were nearby. I saw fingers pointed at me, mouths laughing, condemning me. I tried to be alone. I would sit down on the ground and, curled up in the dark, I would repeat a word, any word, in continuation. This helped me not to think, not to lose myself. I would spend entire days like this, hoping that my mother would ignore me. Her compassionate words hurt me and terrorized me even more, and so I had to shout and shout and shout those words. After a few days, things got better, and little by little I came out of my hiding place. But the fear was always there, under the surface, ready to strike me even harder.
A lot of this is actually how I was at about this age. It's actually kind of disturbing. I even used to do, like, sketches that were, like, seriously disturbing. Usually a little more fantasy-based, but... yeah... I would draw like versions of me like stabbing myself and covered in blood. And it was not a good time. At all. If you guys can't hear that cat snoring, I would be shocked. I guess it might be cut out by the low cut filter, but he is loud and he snores.
Everything's ready. Let's get undressed and leave our clothes on the hooks in the changing rooms.
You might assume it's a game. I mean, it's like...
Let's turn the water on now, and everything will be as before.
How do I turn on the water? Right here? I'm like... something on the floor. That's what I thought! I was
Lara
like
was
melting!
everything I could have been, but she no longer existed. I'd have loved to erase everything I did, but instead I always went ahead and did it again. It was my fault, and she disappeared from my life. They gave you injections there, which made your body and soul tremble violently. A whirlwind of anguish and unbearable pain. I lived in terror of the next time. They had taken me upstairs to that ward where no one wanted to go.